It figures it would be something like this.
Hey everybody, Dutch Sense here. It's 8 o'clock p.m., Friday, February 18th. And with the earthquake that just happened in Florida by the oil wells, and the earthquakes that are happening in Arkansas where we can prove it's been drilling and injecting of seawater, it's just too suspicious. I had to do this. I have to show you guys, in case you don't know or remember, James Bond, View to a Kill. Zorin Industries pumping seawater into the wells to cause an earthquake to destroy a whole economic center. Check it out.
Breakfast, out of bed. What's wrong with your pets?
We had an earth tremor. They're extremely sensitive to seismic activity. Let's see what the earthquake center has on it. Just a minor tremor. Measured 2.5 on the Richter scale. Location? That's odd. The epicenter's near Zorin's oil field.
I told Howe yesterday that Zorin was pumping seawater into his wells. Is there a connection?
Seawater? Those wells are in the Hayward Fault. Are you sure?
Checked it myself.
That's incredibly dangerous. He'll kill millions. These green lights, they're Zorin's oil wells. The ones he's been using to pump seawater into the Hayward Fault.
What are these tunnels for under these lakes?
These lead straight into this section of the San Andreas Fault. You know, Zorin just has to blast through the bottom of these lakes to flood the fault.
And create a double earthquake?
Yes. Except right beneath us is the key geological lock that keeps the faults from moving at once. Of course. If they go off, both faults move at once.
And everything in it submerged forever.
If it happened at the peak of the spring tide for maximum effect.
Perfect. Hold position here. Only minutes more, Carl. Nothing can stop it now. The greatest cataclysm in history.
And all attributed to natural causes.
Exactly.
That's good, dude.
We come to the Earth, which, well, grew to get here, the way it is now. Here is our world, our planet Earth, floating in space. We will be going backward in time, imperfectly, but done in a very disciplined manner. Please notice there is no subduction, no rotation of tectonic plates, no twisting, no form-fitting, no altering shapes or sizes. It would be impossible for these continental plates to fit together perfectly without this being true, and yet the upper tectonic plates fit together perfectly on a much smaller planet. Yes, there's been some erosion, landslides, blah, blah, but overall this activity is insignificant. There is a kind of conspiracy of silence among certain scientists. They know, but are not telling you, that the upper tectonic plates of Earth also join in the Pacific. Not partially, they join totally. You are asked to believe that the continents swim or drift about willy-nilly, bumping and crashing as if they were on a greased skillet. This is not true. The simple truth is apparently too upsetting to too many apple carts. We're now going forward in time to show how the actual growth of the Earth took place. Imperfect as to details, but the overall is nailed. Antarctica, as you see, has become subtropical. Africa, on a smaller globe, moved way downward under the globe. In fact, for hundreds of millions of years, the bottom of Africa was the South Pole.
The column is entitled A Glowing Report on Radiation. Glowing radiation, very, very good. But you are not down on radiation poisoning.
Well, it's not me. I'm citing a stunning number of physicists, and from the New York Times and the Times of London, there's a growing body of evidence that radiation in excess of what the government says are the minimum amounts you should be exposed to are actually good for you and reduce cases of cancer. The New York Times science section, for example, a few years ago reported on a study from Canada where all these women who had had tuberculosis got an inordinate number of chest x-rays, where their breast cancer rate was lower than the general.
Hello everyone, welcome to Global Government News. Today is Sunday, March 20th, 2011, and I'm Darko. Welcome to part 4. This is the final part for today, everyone. My website is www.ggnonline.com. That's ggnonline.com. Alright, just a quick note before we move forward here and finish up on the economy, and then we'll move into the Japanese disaster, and then we'll follow up with some space science stuff with eugenics. Okay, with what Ann Coulter was just saying there, the problem that I have is I've come across many articles that were legitimate articles based off research that was found from scientists that said that these women that are going to get all these mammograms, it's actually increasing their rate of cancer. So I don't know where she's getting that information from. She said somewhere in Toronto or something, but the information I've come across in the past year, a couple different articles where CT scans and mammograms are actually increasing, and women were getting too many, pre-cancer screening tests, and it was actually increasing their chances of getting cancer. So I don't believe what she's saying, but you can go ahead and check, online and do your own research. We're going to start with commodities here, and you can see the commodities were inching down, and then bam, they're going right back up where they were. And Brent crude is trading at $115 a barrel. It's up $1.60. And heating oil is up $3.70. Gas oil futures $7. Natural gas was up 37 cents. And we move down here to cocoa. Cocoa was down a lot, but coffee was up $5.30. Corn up $9. Cotton up $2.88. Wheat up $11. Sugar up almost $1. And looking down here, soy was down. And then we get into the precious metals. Copper, trading at $434, was up $15 cents. Gold is trading at $1,427, and it was up $11.60 an ounce. And silver was up almost 83 cents per ounce. And there's actually not Bob Chapman, but Lindsey Williams, who's predicting $100 an ounce silver. Right now it's at $35.89 per ounce. Okay, so moving on here, 3 states seek to kick habit of raising cigarette taxes. New Hampshire, New Jersey, Rhode Island leaders reverse trend and seek to lower tobacco tax who draw smokers' money. That's right, because eventually, I mean, and this is the thing I just want to say, this state of Illinois, they're the same as Indiana, yet if you actually go to Chicago, you're going to have to pay $10 for a pack of cigarettes. And I'm just kind of assuming here, so this is kind of speculating, but I would assume that they have at least $5 of that is taxes. So, but ultimately, I believe that tobacco will be banned and outright become a controlled substance if the powers that be get what they want. Hopefully, they don't. But yeah, I mean, how can you make money if you make the taxes increase the taxes so much that people eventually actually quit? They end up quitting smoking, and then they lose their tax revenue. So it's really not a good way to bring in money there. It says new study charts psychological toll of long-term joblessness. And when I saw this article, the first thing I thought was eugenics. I thought of population reduction, and I thought about a bunch of what, as the elites, the social engineers refer to it. It's not me. This is how they refer to them: useless eaters. So that's what I see, a bunch of people that are, quote, useless eaters that need to be called. So Barack H. Obama Elementary School to close. Ooh, man, that's a heartbreaker. And said enrollment dropped 35% in the past 10 years. Moving on here, U.S. judge orders new Wisconsin law to be blocked. And talking about the anti-union and anti-collective bargaining rights, U.S. passes France as world's biggest wine-consuming nation. Then we have Argentina's national grid under duress, and they're maxing it out down there. China's rush for salt driven by internet, state media reassurances. And it says many people think that the ocean is being contaminated due to the nuclear crisis in Japan, and that it is only a matter of time before the salt becomes hazardous. And it goes on there, and it says that basically the people, yeah, it says here, Lee thinks that it's an indicator that people don't trust the government. Now everyone is getting their information from the internet and is worried about his or her own safety, he says. That's why they have the Great Wall of China. Here we go, China to crack down on hoarding of daily necessities amid salt panic. So going on, moving. And the Russians taking the ideas from the Nazis in World War II and creating inflatable tanks. I'm not sure if the Russians did that in World War II. I just remember that that's what the Germans did. They had inflatable tanks. And here we have Russia's inflatable tanks are smarter than you think. And there was a lot of criticizing about this, saying that it was a waste of money. And I remember reporting on this about 6 months to 8 months ago, and they actually went along with it and they bought them. So they do have them. I don't think they're a waste, because when you look down on an aerial reconnaissance imagery, it could come up as an actual tank. So it's not a waste of money. Did scientists use secret Tesla tech to make rain in the desert? Although it's all pretty hush-hush, the way Metro Systems rain creation tech apparently works is by using arrays of up to 20 to 30-foot metal towers. And then look at this. Deadly, freaky weather strikes hit Middle East. So I wonder what this is. The Middle East has been battered by strong winds, heavy rains, sandstorms, and even snow, leading to the deaths of at least 19 people. So, and you can go in there and check that out. A lot of damage. And yeah, I mean, they're really, what they're doing is they're cloud seeding, and they're using towers on the ground to basically disperse the aerosols that they're spraying, which contain aluminum, barium, nanoparticles, along cadmium and other metals and particles. And they're spraying that in the air in certain ways, in certain patterns, and then they use these towers that are shooting electricity up into the air. And they make it look all crazy and scientific, but you'd be surprised. Just open your damn eyes and you'll see that these little towers, these little Wi-Fi towers, that are all around you, these big red and white towers that look like, you know, Egyptian monuments, the Washington Monument, you know, they're actually, they're towers, and they're emitting electricity up into the sky, and it's part of a defense program, a weather modification program. So you might want to check that out if you have never heard of that. Everett, Washington, land cracks appear, neighborhood is sinking. So California just had a bridge, or actual road, highway, main highway closed down because of basically the land was, they were having mudslides and that, and now there's having a land crack appear. So a lot of stuff is going on in California. So a strong earthquake hits northeastern Japan. Fukushima reactors 5 and 6 have been shut down. Pressure under control at 3. Progress 1, 2, and 4. And then we have Japan nuclear crisis. Is massive water dump making any difference? Desperate nuclear chiefs to bury plant in concrete tomb. Over 20,000 dead missing in Japan. U.S. reports progress at Japan nuclear facility. Some progress at Fukushima, but no coolant at reactors 3 and 4. Interview Japan crisis is much worse than 3 Mile Island, and even Japan's infamous mafia groups are helping with the relief effort. Japanese mayor urges evacuation after discovering government ignored and misled him and his people about true dangers of the nuclear fallout. Tsunami hit hospital, coast with no heat and light. Exposed fuel rods and empty cracked cooling pool may soon release 130 tons of uranium directly into the environment. Years needed for Japan's tsunami hit areas to recover. Just like BP oil disaster, radiation leak would not affect environment, public health in China over the next 3 years. Radioactive iodine found in tap water in Tokyo. Then we have FDA to monitor food imported from the U.S. from Japan for traces of radiation. Then we have food, water now radioactive in Japan. And moving on here, tainted meat found in pork produced by China's largest packer. Survey lifts the lid on dangerous toxic lunchboxes. First West Coast radiation detection. Worried Californians purchase gas masks, chemical suits. Then we have X-Rad, protection from radiation injury. This is the wonder drug for the elites and right in the military. X-Rad, the U.S. military's radiation wonder drug, is a mega earthquake headed for the U.S. Earthquake predicted for California. Beaked whales scared by Navy sonar, just like dolphins, right? U.S. Large Hadron Collider could be first time machine. Then cancer on the rise globally as developing nations eat American foods. U.S. death rate drops to all-time low, says CDC. Then transplant patient got AIDS from a new kidney. Off target, Lady Gaga splits from Target chain after anti-gay controversy. Then Malaysia gags Lady Gaga, garbles her gay lyrics. Then we have Lady Gaga's Born This Way, the Illuminati Manifesto. You can check this out, some good information in there. Thank you for joining, everybody. Have a good weekend, whatever's left of it. This is GGN, and I'm Darko. Thank you.